Lexie came back, a much more aggressive, assertive player. She's just a hard player to take off the floor because of how hard she plays. She's not just an energy player, she's a toughness player. She does all of those things that you can't teach.
And steps into a three.
Hello guys, welcome back to TFD with another absolute banger, Lexie Hull. Oh, you fiery little mix. You really stirred up the hornet's nest this week. Got the bees buzzing in the bonnet. Yep, Lexie Hull, the pride of the Indiana Fever, the blue-collar baller who doesn't just show up, she shows out. And this time, she's getting the spotlight she deserves. So let's give a big shout out to Glamour Magazine for that incredible feature on Lexie. They captured exactly what we've been saying here for months. Hull is the Fever's ride or die, a core piece, the kind of player every championship caliber team needs. She's the heart, the hustle, and the glue. You've heard me say it before. Lexie Hull brings the energy every single night. She's that spark plug who dives on the floor for loose balls, takes charges, hits clutch buckets, and gets her teammates hyped. She's not just a player, she's a culture setter. Every team needs a Lexie Hull, and the Fever are lucky to have one. Now, in that Glamour profile, Lexie opened up about something that fans have been whispering about for a while, the DeWanna Bonner situation. And man, she did not hold back. When asked about Bonner's sudden departure from the Fever, you could feel the lingering emotion in her response. Hull said, "I was super excited because finally there was a player in my position that I could look up to, someone who's won in this league, who knows what it takes, and who I could learn from. And then she randomly leaves, and we're all just kind of like, what happened? We were never given an explanation." That right there, that's honesty. You can sense the mix of disappointment and confusion. Because remember, Bonner isn't just some player. She's a two-time WNBA champion and one of the most respected vets in the game. For someone like Hull, who's still carving her role in the league, having a mentor like that would have meant everything. What's wild is that Caitlin Clark echoed the exact same sentiment earlier this year. She too said she was looking forward to learning from Bonner, not just about basketball, but about how to handle the highs and lows, the expectations, the pressure. And despite her own fame skyrocketing, being more recognizable globally than Bonner ever was, she still valued that veteran leadership. That's what makes the Fever's locker room dynamic so interesting right now. You've got young stars like Caitlin and Lexie, both hungry and humble, looking for guidance, and suddenly that veteran presence disappears without closure. Still, through it all, Hull's focus remains team first. She continues to grind, represent, and play with that chip on her shoulder. The fans see it. The energy she brings off the bench or in the starting lineup, it's contagious. So yeah, Lexie Hull, the unsung hero, the defensive dog, the emotional backbone, is finally getting her flowers. Whether it's on the floor or in a Glamour profile, she's showing everyone exactly why Indiana fans ride so hard for her. Stay locked in, Fever Nation, because if Lexie's this fired up in October, you better believe the storm she's cooking for next season is gonna be something special. And so then we had some other stuff as they got into everything that went on with the Fever. Lexie Hull for Glamour Magazine, there is a level of jealousy when it comes to the Fever, just because of the media attention and the fans that have shown up for us ever since Caitlin got here. We've heard people and players and teams talking in their locker room about, we can't let the Fever win. Now, what's really interesting to me, and shout out to Lexie Hull for saying this, is that she just went ahead and said the quiet part out loud. And honestly, I'm curious what Mama Hull thinks about this, because it's something we've talked about for months when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Except Caitlin usually bites her tongue. See, Caitlin plays it smart. She knows the politics of the league. You've got to coexist with these players, teammates, opponents, veterans, and sometimes it's better to keep certain opinions to yourself. She's in a spotlight so bright that every single word gets magnified. So yeah, maybe she chooses to stay quiet to avoid the noise. But Lexie? Nah, she just let it rip, and she was spot on. She basically confirmed what a lot of fans and analysts have been saying since the Fever drafted Caitlin, that there's a serious level of jealousy floating around the WNBA right now. Jealousy toward Caitlin, jealousy toward the attention she's brought, and jealousy toward what she represents. And you can't even deny it. We saw it all season long. Remember the meltdown from certain players when the Fever schedule came out? Everyone losing their minds because Indiana had the most nationally televised games? Players were tweeting, complaining, even Nafisa Collier, who, by the way, we'll get to in another video because she's got some explaining to do, couldn't help but throw shade. But let's be real. Why was anyone surprised? Of course the Fever are going to get the most TV time. They've got the most popular player in the sport, and their games draw the highest ratings by far. The math isn't complicated. The team that brings in the biggest audience gets the biggest platform. That's not favoritism, that's just business. And here's where the hypocrisy really shines. The same people complaining about the Fever being on TV every week are also the ones preaching that WNBA players deserve bigger paychecks. Okay, cool, but where do you think that money comes from? It comes from ratings, sponsorships, and ticket sales. You don't get that by putting low viewership teams in prime time. You get that by showcasing the stars that fans actually want to see. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, the faces driving the conversation. That's exactly how the NFL does it. Sure, every team plays on Sunday, but who gets the 4 o'clock national slot? The Cowboys, Chiefs, Eagles, teams that move the needle. Same thing for Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football. And late in the season, they'll even flex games out just to make sure they're showing the best matchups. Why? Because it's about the product and the ratings. It's not rocket science, it's entertainment. The WNBA should want the Caitlin Clarks of the world to shine. When fans tune in to see her, the entire league wins. But instead of celebrating that, some players act like it's a threat. So yeah, Lexie Hull didn't just speak truth, she lit the match. She said what everyone knows but won't admit. There's jealousy, plain and simple. And until that changes, the league's biggest problem won't be visibility, it'll be insecurity. And we gotta roll a little more here because this part right here, this is gold. Again, huge shout out to Lexie Hull for saying what a lot of players simply won't say out loud. She just came out swinging with that quote, and I love it. She said, if you have extra motivation to beat us because of something out of our control, that's fine. Think about that. That's Lexie basically saying, hey, if you need to hype yourself up just to play us harder because we're popular or because we're getting the attention, that's your problem, not ours. That's a big time mindset. She's not backing down, not making excuses, and not apologizing for the Fever's spotlight. She's saying, we can't control being popular. We can't control the cameras, the fans, the media. We just hoop. And that's what makes Lexie Hull's comment so powerful, because it hits right at the heart of the tension in the WNBA right now. The Indiana Fever, led by Caitlin Clark, are the team to beat, not just because of wins and losses, but because of what they represent. Every single game they play, the arena is packed, the ratings spike, and the attention is off the charts. So what happens? Every other team circles back game on their calendar. Lexie's like, cool, bring it. If it takes jealousy or anger or envy to get you up for a Fever game, that's on you. We're going to show up the same way, regardless. And honestly, it reminds me of the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFL, when they were dominating and every single opponent treated their matchup like a Super Bowl. That's what Lexie's getting at here. The Fever are everybody's championship. When you beat Indiana, it's a statement. It's bragging rights. It's your shot to shine in front of the biggest audience. But Lexie's point is clear. That extra emotion isn't going to rattle them. If anything, it fuels them. She's basically saying, you can hate all you want, but that's just more energy for us to feed off of. And here's where it gets even more interesting, because as Lexie puts it, players are starting to expose themselves. You can see it in the comments, in the post-game interviews, even in the subtle digs on social media. Some players just can't hide the frustration anymore. They'll say things like, oh, the media only talks about one player, or we don't get the same coverage. But in saying that, they're admitting what Lexie is calling out, that this isn't about fairness, it's about envy. The Fever didn't ask for special treatment. They earned their attention because the fans showed up, the cameras followed, and the ratings skyrocketed. So yeah, Lexie Hull's comments hit deep. She's not just defending her team. She's setting the tone for how the Fever are handling all this noise. No excuses, no apologies. You want to treat them like your championship game? Fine. Just don't be surprised when they play like champions too. And now, here's where things start to get really revealing, because it's not just media or players anymore, it's the fans too. And yeah, I get it. These are just random fans on social media. But when you start seeing the same type of comments over and over again, it tells you something about where the mindset of this conversation has gone. So check this out. We've seen players hint at this before, right? But now fans are just saying the quiet part out loud. The mask is completely off. No filter, no hesitation. One post that really stood out said something like, "White women stay thinking a black woman owes them an explanation." Now, hold up. That's not just a bad take. That's one of the most ignorant and divisive statements you'll ever read. Like, is that really where we're at? Is that what social media is turning into? You can almost feel your brain melting reading that. It's not just an argument about basketball anymore. It's people twisting a locker room situation into a racial thing that doesn't even belong in the conversation. And the craziest part, it wasn't just one comment. There were dozens of posts echoing the same kind of nonsense, saying DeWanna Bonner didn't need to explain anything to anybody but the necessary people. Amber and Stephanie know the reason, now move TF along. Like, what? So let me get this straight. A player suddenly leaves, teammates are confused, and when someone simply says, "Hey, we never got an explanation," the internet turns that into some kind of cultural debate. It's wild. And let's be real here. It's not about race. It's about professionalism, communication, and leadership. Lexie Hull's comments weren't disrespectful. She wasn't demanding answers or throwing shade. She was just being honest, saying she looked up to Bonner, wanted to learn from her, and was caught off guard when she left without saying much. That's not entitlement. That's human curiosity. That's a teammate trying to make sense of what happened in her own locker room. But because it's the internet, people just have to twist it into something bigger. They'll take an innocent quote and turn it into drama that has nothing to do with the actual point. And yeah, you can call it what it is. Serious entitlement from people who think they can throw out the most toxic takes and then act shocked when someone pushes back. The level of misunderstanding, or maybe just willful ignorance, is honestly next level. At the end of the day, what Lexie said was respectful, grounded, and completely fair. But the reaction she got exposed a much deeper issue. People projecting their own biases and insecurities onto players who are just trying to speak their truth. So yeah, the mask is off now. The double standards are showing. And every time this kind of stuff pops up, it just proves exactly why players like Lexie Hull speaking honestly matters more than ever. Now, Lexie Hull, you got folks out here saying she'll never be famous. Buddy, what are you even talking about? Lexie Hull is famous. She's doing photo shoots, she's in features, she's part of one of the most watched rookie seasons in WNBA history. Stop it. The projection is unreal. You've got people defending DeWanna Bonner like she didn't just pull one of the shadiest moves in recent memory, then turning around and accusing other people of playing victim. Nah, let's be honest about it. Bonner was the ultimate victim act. Let's call it what it is. She got a max contract, got the spotlight, got to play next to Kaylin Clark, got to soak in the love from the Fever fanbase who embraced her fully. And then what? She ghosted them, straight up. Left the team, left the fans, left everyone hanging. That's not leadership. That's not professionalism. That's entitlement. And yet, somehow, she's the one we're supposed to feel sorry for? Come on, man. That behavior was inexcusable. It was selfish. It was ugly. It was someone who's been told yes their whole life and finally got told no and couldn't handle it. And don't get me started on the people twisting this into a jealousy or race conversation. That's exactly what's going on. You've got this tiny group of old school WNBA fans all 12 of them, who are furious that Caitlin Clark and her teammates are the ones bringing real attention to the league. They can't stand it. And here's the thing, it's not even just the players who look like Lexie. Even some of the other Fever teammates have made it pretty clear they weren't cool with Bonner's behavior. Because when have you ever seen a big-time free agent in any sport sign a major deal, play a few games, vanish with zero explanation, and then force their new team to cut them just to follow their partner? That's unheard of. Never seen it. But we're supposed to buy the idea that Bonner's the victim? Please. At the end of the day, man, what this really comes down to is jealousy. Jealousy of success, jealousy of popularity, jealousy of momentum. Caitlin Clark changed the landscape, and Lexie Hull's been a part of that rise, and some people just can't handle it. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for now. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Appreciate you watching as always. Make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and go have the day you deserve. I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Oh, I can't run. No, that was it. I changed, but I can't. All right.